We're all going to celebrate Christmas now. Go yourselves.
This could all go horribly wrong at any minute.
Hello there, and welcome to the 198th edition of Lewis Black's Rantcast, entitled, At Least It's Christmas. Huh? Why all the frowny faces, huh? The elves are back, Santa's coming in, all of my big movies, one, Unaccompanied Minors will be back. They'll be showing it on a loop. You can see that everywhere. I mean, it's Christmas all over the, and right after the election, seriously, within moments of them, declaring the winner of the election is, the place you wanted to be was Starbucks. They have a commercial that I don't know if you've seen, but by God, I know a lot of you don't watch them anymore, but it's really important. It's apparently one of the happiest places on earth. I have never seen or been in any Starbucks or anywhere, actually. Even Christmas at somebody's house, where people are overwhelmed with joy. And I don't know if it has to do with the coffee or what's in the mugs or, maybe it's MDMA. I don't know. But boy, oh boy, you'd think their smiles are so big they almost rip and they'd start bleeding. That's how happy they are. And if that's not enough, when you get your coffee, you can go down the street to Target, and and you even apparently get to take the dog home. So this is this could not be a better time. We have finally gotten Christmas right at this point. I mean, where it seemed to be just declared, we're all going to celebrate Christmas now. Go fuck yourselves, and that's what we're going to do. And it seemed to be, we're not going to worry about. I guess it was already decided. It didn't matter if one side won or the other side won. There'd be a group of people who are unhappy, but they can't be unhappy because it's Christmas. And that's really the best. I mean, not so much for me because I'm Jewish, and that's always been a rub. But it's now going to be Christmas it's going to seem forever, which is why I'll be leaving the country, and I'm going to be taking my annual vacation with my pals, and we're getting out of here. Why? As I repeat year after year, it makes Christmas seem shorter. It's gotten to, and now it's massively long, because they're not even bothering with any other ads. And I know that I really should be talking about what happened last week, but do I want to? No, I don't want to. Okay? It's one thing to have been bombarded with all that shit before it. Then afterwards, it's that fault. It's his fault. It's her fault. It's their fault. They should have said this. They didn't eat enough Italian food. They should have, spent more time at the pool. There's whatever. It's beyond belief, is what it is. Whatever the idea was behind all of this, first off, $16 billion spent. Couldn't have been spent better, really. And showing our ability, really the one place that we know how to be charitable is with those running for office. And this has got to stop, okay? I'm tired of talking about it. If you don't get why, I don't have time anymore. If you don't understand why that's absurd, seriously, go fuck yourself, all right? Because that ball game is over, okay? It is a waste of money on so many levels, and also because whichever side loses makes a mistake anyway, that makes a gaffe and screws things up. So why give them that much money to do it? They could do it. They could have done that with a quarter. Really, if just and just sat there flipping the quarter. No political aids, just people on just those running for office flipping the quarter, going heads, tails, heads, tails. That's all they'd had to do, and they could have gotten as far as they did. I am, my head is going to explode. because this has been way beyond anything I have imagined. Now, here's what I found interesting, because I'm not going to discuss about whose fault it is. There's a billion places to read about that, see about it, and it's already passed through, and there's no need to discuss it. But what's interesting is they were told, Republicans were told by the Democrats that the man they were running was a threat to democracy, and that should scare them from voting for him, and then they should therefore vote for her. Well, this is how much it scared them, that they were so scared that they said, hey, let's see if this is real. So what we're going to do is we're going to give him the Senate, and the way it looks from what I can see this week, but we don't know. We don't know because it's hard to count, because there's only so many horses that they can get that can put their foot down and do that. So we don't, we're in the 21st fucking century, okay? Should be able to count votes. It's not tough. Fucking write it on a piece of paper. Son of a bitch. So, what they decided is, let's see how scary it could be. Let's give him he's got the Supreme Court already because of his choices. I know some of you don't feel that that's really got anything. That's just they're very much they don't have a partisan bone in their bodies. And let me tell you, you're insane. Those of you who believe that are insane. So I'm glad I could share that with you, especially my new quiet voice, because I'm not going to yell anymore. I'm just going to be very quiet. And then eventually, this is all you'll hear from me. But back to the point. The point is that he's now got the Senate, and he's got the House, and as the Supreme Court, he has everything. So that's the experiment. They were told by many people, this is a big mistake. He's an authoritarian, and they shouldn't give him more power. And they did. They said, no, come on. Let's see what it would really be like to deal with a real authoritarian figure. And in light of that, let me just say that I am sitting looking out the window at a very depressed gray sky, rainy, and I'm sitting in Eugene, Oregon, where as a young man coming to the end of high school, early years of college, I read One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, became enamored with Ken Kesey. Ken Kesey then, due to a book that called The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, I was able to read about him. And I thought about coming to Eugene many times when I was in my early to mid-20s. And I thought, if I came here because of Ken Kesey, and because there seemed to be a certain freedom here, and if you remember One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, if you've not read it, read it, okay? You're going to want to read it. It's just a tremendous book, or watch the movie. They're both remarkable. And it was very much, it's very anti-authoritarian. That's the crust of it. I mean, and the gut of it. Really anti-authoritarian. And that was the attraction to me, to come out here and to see Ken Kesey and the group that he'd gathered together, and then they got involved with the Grateful Dead. It was a totally different time. Totally. Got it? A different fucking planet. I don't know how this happened. But it's now I'm here, and it's not the same. But if I'd come here earlier, probably I would have done so much acid, I wouldn't know what's going on now, and I wouldn't have this Rantcast, and I wouldn't have to work today, because I'd be probably testing some mushrooms that needed to be tested, just to see if they still worked on a man my age. One of the things maybe we should have learned from this is they're going to, apparently they're going to cut taxes again, or this, at least cut the, keep this bill in place that allows the wealthy to still get a massive tax break, allow corporations to get a massive tax break. And if you're going to do that, then what you're doing, going back to what I was talking about before, you're going to give them, that's what they do, they take that money and then they use that money to influence the election. So that we end up spending $16 billion on it. And that way they can kind of push their agenda, which they've done. And if they'd done it the other way, that would have been the fist up the other people's ass, right? Yeah. So they shouldn't be being given this kind of money, whatever side they're on, because that's what they do with a chunk of it. $16 billion. I don't even know if there are countries that don't have that kind of money. There's states that don't have that kind of money, I don't think. But I'd have to look that up, and I don't have time. Let me just check my notes. I think I got it all. Yep. So tomorrow I'm going to go look for the ghost of Ken Kesey. I want to wish you a wonderful week, and I hope you can all recover as you watch this all unfold, as we once again have entered a period of really just an extraordinary moment in time where the American people are led to basically, I believe this. I know that I'm in the minority here, but they were led to vote for against their own interests. Yes, this is perfect. They believe it was for their interest, and if I had anything to say about blame, the Democrats should take a good fucking look, if they want to win again, over how this group, which it basically is saying in many ways, we'd like you to vote against your own interests, gets them to do it. And the Democrats, who think that they want them to vote for them because it'll be in their interest, can't get them to vote for them. There's the dichotomy. That's what we're stuck with. That's what I'm leaving you with. There's something to think about, huh? That'll let your brain tear itself apart, and all you're left with is a hypothalamus, I think. I don't know, I'll have to look that up, but I need that time to do that, and I'm going to do that right now. You won't be getting pictures from me. I'm finished. I'm done for this week. I don't even know what I'll say next week. Who knows where we'll be by next week? I'll be coming to Houston. I'll be coming to Austin. I'll be coming to Dallas. And then I'm flying out of the country to Grenada, that little island that we invaded to save medical students. Oh, those were the days. Well, it's been a pleasure, as always. And Thanksgiving week, I won't be doing Rantcast because I need to take a little time for myself and see if I want to make Grenada my new home. I'm kidding. I'm really kidding. Unless, of course, the price is right, where they say, hey, we could use a comic here, and that might work. And then I wouldn't need to travel very far because it's a small island, so I wouldn't be touring anymore. Just be standing on the beach, selling seashells by the seashore. I have really lost myself now, and I am done. I want to wish you a splendid week. I hope that those of you who are massively depressed realize that tomorrow isn't another day, it's a lifetime. And good luck with that. Try to get, I know it's hard for a lot of you, but it's time to get over it. And some of you really said, people who seem to have the energy out there, and God bless them. I don't know if I'm one of them. I've sat through this this story way too many times, and I didn't think we'd have to go back and do it again. And my real problem is, of everything, I, I can't stand listening to them. And it's that simple. Really that simple. I guess I would have liked the Democrats this time because I can't hear them. That would have been fun. That would have been nice. But no. So I'll say goodbye again. And get out there, do your Christmas shopping now. And if you do, you're stupid. Wait until after Christmas. Wait until after Christmas. And that's another tip from me about how to save money. Since you're worried about inflation, that's the way to go at it. It all gets cheaper after Christmas. So thank you for listening. I appreciate all of the rants that have come in, and I thank you for those. And actually, this Sunday, for those of you out there, I will be doing a Rantcast from Seattle. So if you live up in Washington State or around this area in Oregon, here in the Pacific Northwest, write in something that is pissing you off, and and hopefully I'll get to read it. If not now, somewhere down the road, from Grenada, from my new radio station there, freegrenada.com. Take care. It's a privilege and a pleasure. Hi there, Louis Black here, and like I said, I'm adding some shows to the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road tour, the final tour, and you can go to my website, louisblack.com, and find out exactly where they are. There are also some names somewhere along here, and if you're at the website, why don't you take a look at the fan club membership, and you can get those tickets today, because otherwise you're going to have to wait till Friday, and the tickets won't be as good, and you'll have to deal with Ticketmaster, and then you'll come whining to me, and there's nothing I can do. I'm telling you, this is the best way to go about it. You talk to a human being, it'll be great. It'll be great for both of us. And then I'm going to add a few more shows, and then that's it, okay? Bye-bye. Here comes one from Ari Upsethit. Hope I didn't butcher your last name too much. Last week, you had someone in Boston whining about not seeing any buses in the bus lane. First of all, if you looked up from your goddamn phone, you might see what you're looking for. But second, the traffic isn't because there's a bus lane, but because you're driving on roads where the wider parts were originally designed for oxen to buck. And where they narrow, the cars all try to get through the same space in traffic, and it invariably backs up. Every car is 25 feet long, and the gaps between cars, another 25 feet. So do the math. 50 cars stretches half a goddamn mile. Meanwhile, 50 people on the bus is the length of, a bus. It's 40 feet or 60 if it's one of those mutant bendy buses, but then they carry more people. Ever heard the phrase 3 quarts of shit in a 2-quart pail? Asshole. You're the shit that doesn't fit in the goddamn pail. Those people on the bus have decided not to add more shit to your pail situation. So instead of whining that they are, for once, getting somewhere faster than you, you should thank them. Because if they weren't on the bus, you'd be half a mile further back and still covered in shit. Well, thank you, Ari. And I await the response from our friend in Boston who was at the show. And I'm surprised about this, that the wider part was designed for oxen to fuck. It's one of those things. There's a fact I wouldn't know how to trace there, Ari. And I think calling you're the shit that doesn't fit in the goddamn pail it's a little bit of a push. I think you're more, and I hope you were more talking about the movement of the cars and stuff. But I'm trying to be the peacemaker here before you guys in Boston. You're endlessly fucking with each other, and it's impressive. Here's one from Allison Hubble. When I hear people wearing flip-flop sandals, I want to bang my head against a brick wall. I do not want to see the naked, gnarled feet of people around me, nor do I want to hear the obnoxious noise that their flip-flop sandals make. Please do me a favor and wear your feet G-strings in your own home and wear proper shoes when venturing out in the wild. Thank you. And thank you, Allison. There'll be less people, I think, with flip-flops around you as we head into fall. But who knows? I've watched people all year wearing clothing that I think is, you shouldn't be wearing this. So, sometimes it's heavy stuff in the summer, and sometimes it's what you're not going to be covered in the fucking winter. So, I would go on here, but forget it. Daniel Roth is pissed, and I think it's obvious why. First, they came for our vaccines. Now they've infected their kids' brains. 3 years ago, you read my 5-minute Uber rant about conspiracy theorists, parents who deny their children vaccine protection, and a little bit about simpering Disney princesses. I thought we had hit rock bottom, but I must have been effing deluded. Okay? Down the hole we go. Yesterday, I see a 10-year-old who got his noggin smacked in Pee Wee football. He was dizzy and had a headache and yacked up his lunch, but stayed in the game. That's terrific, huh? They kept the kid in the game. He's here for a post-concussion check. So I start the mini mental status exam. Give me your name. What year is this? What month is this? And who is your principal or the president? Future Packer says Bart Starr, check. 2024, Checkaroni, September, Bonanza, and Donald Trump. What? Who is the president? Donald Trump, he says. He won the election and it was stolen by the Democrats. His mom is beaming. I think we need a new diagnosis for this. AUD, alternate universe disorder. I have no comeback here. I got nothing. What say you, old sage? I got nothing either, Daniel. I got nothing but the fact that I hope you were able to maintain some sort of facial expression as a doctor that showed sympathy and concern without looking at the mother going, are you out of your fucking mind? Look. Thank you for sharing that, Daniel. Wow. I'm going to skip to the rant here, Kristen Pollock. I enjoyed what you wrote, but I'd like to get right down to what you're pissed about. Folks, we have a problem with bigotry in our country. People think that transgender children aren't mature, smart, or old enough to make the so-called decision to know that they were born in the wrong body. It's been scientifically proven that people know their gender identities at the age of 5. So I don't know how you ignorant bigots can claim that children are too young to know that they were born in the wrong body. So fuck you if you believe that a child knows whether or not they were born in the correct body. There's no word to describe how vile, evil, and disgusting your ignorance is. All that can be said is fuck you, you bigoted puke. Kiss my ass if you are so scared of learning something new that you won't do it. Also, I'm a believer and follower of Jesus Christ myself. So I would tell you that if you are using the Bible to justify your view on this issue, then you are not only a fucking bigot, a fucking idiot, and a complete dumbass, and clusterfuck rolled into one. Fuck your bigotry. Fuck your ignorant ass, okay? And you can kiss mine. Oh, and by the way, nobody owes you anything related to their own masculinity, femininity, or otherwise, so you can piss off, asshole. Well, Kristen, I appreciate your anger. Um, it's funny. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, so I'm going to cast a few stones. I mean, I understand the anger, and it is unbelievable. I I don't know enough about the subject but if it's true that, and I think it's probably more than true, it would seem that a child by the age of 5 would know if they were if they what their gender is, no matter what the gender is that they see in the mirror. That's what I believe, but um, who knows? I mean, well, I'm sure who knows. There are people who do know. All I'm saying is that's my assumption, and I think Kristen seems to know a little more than me, and because you don't get that pissed off about stuff unless you really think you've got your. Well, that's not true because we deal with these alternative realities. So I'm not saying that yours is, Kristen, but I can see why you're pissed. Craig H. Uh, Pleased to be reading this for you, Craig. Hey, Lou, I was glad to have the opportunity to see you live earlier this year in Orono, Maine. As a proud Mainer, anytime Lewis Black comes to Maine, it's a privilege and a must go. Otherwise, I would have had to hop in my car and make the 4-hour trek south on I 95 to the doldrums of hell called Boston. Now, I could go on an hour-long rant about Boston, but I think they have suffered enough with their beloved Red Sox missing the playoffs and having to watch the New York Yankees go for another World Series title. Anyway, Lou, we are another day closer to the upcoming election, and I am already at my wits' end. Luckily, in Maine, we are not getting the bombardment of political ads compared to those in Arizona, Nevada, and other swing states. However, I do have to rant about a race for Congress and a question on the state ballot. First, we have a race between incumbent Jared Golden and the Republican choice, Austin Thoreau. Thoreau is a former so called NASCAR driver, and I stress so called because he only had a small handful of races at the top level, but his usage of NASCAR driver makes him sound like he was the next Jeff Gordon when he failed at the NASCAR level. Granted, he is only using the NASCAR term as a way to sucker the MAGA crowds for a vote. This pathetic choice of a candidate is a state representative who was absent for 45 votes. 45 fucking votes. Are you shitting me? This is the same candidate who has no details on his website of what exactly he would do if elected. However, he will churn out ad after ad after ad with him standing in front of the camera with a deer in the headlights look, mumbling random political words with the occasional Trump thrown in just to keep those MAGA hard-ons alive. Okay, maybe it's not a deer in a headlight look, maybe more of a red hat MAGA supporter who has just come up for a quick breather before getting back on his knees for Daddy Trump. Why would anyone in this part of Maine vote for this man? He's a con, a grifter who's milked the state for a paycheck and is now trying to do the same to the U.S. government. The other part of the ballot this year is a question for us Maine citizens to change the state flag. I've seen this. It's pretty amazing. Really? This is the most important thing we have to decide? Oh, the dictator who's trying to get reelected for president can wait, but we need to decide this first. Are you fucking kidding me? We currently have a clean blue flag, the state coat of arms. There is no issue with it. We currently have a clean blue flag, the state coat of arms. There is no issue with this flag, but yet we have spent money to come up with this alternative. An off-white flag that only has a green tree and a random blue star. I'll repeat that. An off-white flag that only has a green tree and a random blue star. Are you fucking serious? A green tree that looks like it was drawn by a first grader with a green crayon. Oh, let's throw a random blue star in. This is what we have to vote on? Really? No wonder people are frustrated with politics with this complete waste of time. God. At this rate, Lewis, I'm ready for cold December temps and snow than to subject myself to any more of these ads. Craig in Maine. I love your state. I truly do. And I don't quite understand. It's a blue flag with the state coat of arms on it, huh? Craig? Wow. It is funny. We need a new flag, and that'll set it all straight. Okie doke. Appreciate your time there, Craig. I appreciate what Billy Pilgrim Johnson has to say. In the good old days, according to you, people would drop dead when they reached 65 out of common courtesy. Well, guess what, Lewis? Today is my 65th birthday. So here I am, and I'm here to say to you, in the immortal words of Daffy Duck, shoot me now, shoot me now, because I actually do have common courtesy, you see. And I decided there could be nothing more appropriate than to spend it with you because I need to continue my streak of seeing misanthropic raconteurs on my birthday. A couple of years ago, it was David Sedaris, and a few days short of my birthday in 2018, it was you in Keene. That was the year of the squirrel apocalypse, if you recall. It was a real Starbucks across the street from another Starbucks moment for me because it was next door at the after party for an all-day progressive political conference. The keynote speaker, by the way, was the noted progressive Tulsi Gabbard. I had been sitting by myself in a dark corner of this Mexican restaurant, and all of a sudden there she was, introducing herself to me and thanking me for coming and for everything I do. And Lewis, you know how hot she looks? I was instantly transformed into a drooling idiot. This explains the state of temporary Alzheimer's I found myself in as I walked out of the restaurant and happened to look at the marquee of the theater next door. It said appearing tonight, Lewis Black. I was about to get in the car to go home, but when I saw that, I thought, I haven't seen anything political in a long time. I think I'll walk right in and buy myself a ticket. So instead of a Starbucks across the street from another Starbucks, this Starbucks was actually right next door. But if you do follow through my command to shoot, the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library is going to lose out on one sweet spokesman, a metal musician that's also a professional librarian, an archivist by trade, and World War II, Star Trek, and Monty Python geek at that, which explains my stage name. And what's the stage name? I guess it's Billy Pilgrim Johnson. And right in the middle of banned book weeks, no less. Kurt won't be happy about that. In the moment where he's still alive, that is. So you better listen to those Tralfalmadorians, huh? You wouldn't want to end up in the intergalactic zoo on some god-forsaken planet somewhere, now would you? Well, if it was with a porn star that looked like Valerie Perrine, maybe you would. Never mind. If you didn't see the movie, okay, never mind. By the way, just made the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library my birthday fundraiser for this year. And let me say thank you, Billy Pilgrim. Let me say thank you. As the chairman of the board of the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library, and for the folks who work hard to keep it rolling, the folks of the Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library, thank you. That's very kind, because it was you who clued me in about it. And what more appropriate thing for me to do when I'm coming to see you on my 65th birthday? You better be ready to greet your fans tomorrow night, seeing as how this is supposedly your swan song, where things might get ugly. Well, they already are ugly, but I shouldn't be body shaming myself like that. My friends already do that for me. That's what my friends are for, right? But that's not what my rant is about. My rant is about travel hell, which is which you so eloquently described recently. I was so glad to hear someone else suffered as much as I did on my trip to Raleigh and back on United, but also on Amtrak, whose website wouldn't process my payment, so I got put off the train once and almost twice, and Flixbus, whose driver left early from a bathroom break and stranded me at the rest stop on I-95, taking all my bags with him. Lewis, I got you beat by a mile or thousands of miles. Your rant lasted 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Mine could, and his clocked in at about 15 minutes at least. I won't subject you to the long version here. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. I'm currently working on my multi-post version for Facebook. One for Manchester to Raleigh by plane, the second for Raleigh to New York by train, and the third for New York to Bridgeport by bus, which was supposed to be to Boston. Bridgeport to Boston by train, and Boston to Concord by bus. I expected some sort of a summary there at the end, but Billy, that was quite a roll there. Quite a lot to say. Let me thank you, Billy Pilgrim Johnson, and for what you had to say here. You went through a number of things, and I read them all. Probably read too much, really, but was very touched by the fact that you have elected Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library to be your birthday fundraiser. That's very kind of you, as I've said earlier. And for those of you out there who don't know it, Google it and go there and see what we're up to, and especially when it comes to banned books, and especially Slaughterhouse-Five, which is considered one of the great 100 books written in the last century. Seriously, and it has been banned around the country. And when it has been, when we can and have the money, we send a bunch of books to that town so that folks can read it, because that's really what's important. Ideas, paragraphs. They're not a threat. It's how we grow. From one of my favorites, Mildred Ellison, who is a constant source of delight. The newspaper articles she sends in and what she has to say. And this, I think you'll enjoy this as much as I did. What the actual fuck is this? Trump pal Jason Miller approves of states that want to set up full menstrual surveillance departments. Menstrual surveillance departments? Holy fuck. What are they going to do? Have some guy assigned to count used tampons and look up women's twats? Those basement living man-children losers can't walk down the aisle where tampons are sold without giggling, or more likely are to collect used Kotex like their beloved Star Wars action figures, holding the little string close, sniffing it like a pig with a truffle, while dreaming of 14-year-old girl hoochie huts as they spunk off into their 8th grade white husky boy crew socks. Hey, maybe they can get women to stand spread-legged on one of those carousels cows go on to get milk, with pimply teenage boys stationed underneath to beaver check. And if they're really lucky, we may even pee on them. Man, Mildred, when you're on, you're on. Yes, sirree. Woo. Thanks to all of you for listening to my Rantcast. If you have a rant you want to get off your chest, send it in to me at lewisblack.com/live. You can think of it as therapy, or whatever you want to think of it as. Just let it rip. And I want to thank the true stars of our show, the ranters, and the splendid rants they gave us. Lewis Black's Rantcast was created and hosted by me, Lewis Black. Our live rant audio was produced by James Salter. Our theme song by Chris Lane. Executive producer, Ben Brewer. Executive producers, Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly.